Hello and welcome to another Damon 212 Dreamcast review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Redux Dark Matters, which you've never played it before. It's a shoot 'em up. I forgot to mention in the Dux 1.0 that there is a basic options menu. You can check your high scores, your sound and your controls, and you can customise them on both for the pad and the stick, and there's absolutely nothing different for them. Literally the only thing that's different is on Dux and Redux they've actually got rid of the ability to fire out the pod. So there's only 4 buttons on this one instead of 5, and I've just realised for the pad controls they're kind of set up a bit of an awkward way for me, so I'm going to just very quickly change them up and that'll be fine. There we go, because I am going to be using the pad simply because using the fight stick or the arcade stick, whatever you want to call it, while you have a tripod and everything in the way is just, well, cumbersome to say the least. As I say though, this is a shoot 'em up, and if you've never played it before, it's the standard shoot 'em up. Basically, it's a remake of Dux 1.5 and Dux 1.0 and this, that and the other. They've done all sorts of things to it, and one of the things I said in Dux was I couldn't find the second ship because I'd heard that Redux was going to have a second ship and then possibly 2-player and then another stage, and I've done a bit more research, and the whole point is there were stretch goals for the Kickstarter, and while they just fell short, I've honestly thought they might have been included because there's then so many people pre-ordered the game on their website, so I reckon they've probably made the extra 7,000 that they would have, considering how many units of the game they've sold. So it's a little disappointing that this was without the 7th stage and the co-op, and at the time I thought the second ship. Turns out, and I apologise to anyone who might have already lambasted me on the other video, but that's why I kind of mentioned it and got it out of the way, and then I'm glad that I went back and done some research. There is a second ship on this. It's the ship I'm playing as now, and the ship comes into play when you play on veteran difficulty. I hadn't yet got around to trying veteran out, and it was when I've loaded it up just for the video here, I've noticed straight away, yeah, that is actually a different ship. So at least they've added a new ship then. But I still wouldn't be able to call this Dux 2, because as I said in that one, it's basically that this is a remake of Dux, but 1.5 was also a remake of Dux, if you think about it. It was like, well, it was the 1.5 version. So really, this is Dux 1.75. It means that if they ever did do another stage in co-op and added it and kept everything the same, then really that would be like Dux 1.875, as I said in the other one. But hopefully they're not going to do that. Hopefully they'll instead just actually make Dux 2. They'll put in the stage design that they already had worked up. They'll add in the co-op, and then they'll make a proper sequel, and maybe we'll have it by the end of something like 2015. It will be quite nice to think. For now though, let's talk about the game at hand, which is Redux. And as I say, it is a remake of Dux. So if you've played that before, if you own it, if you own any version, then you might be wary about buying it again. You can probably already notice the graphical difficulties. What the hell is that? The graphical differences is what I was trying to get out there, because everything looks a lot less cartoony now. It looks well, it looks not so much realistic, but it doesn't look like it's out of the world of Disney. If anything, it looks more like an anime cartoon type thing, and I think the graphic style of the new one is actually really good. The music style is really good as well, and I will be shutting up and let you listen to a bit of it, because just like the last one, it's amazing, and it is at the very least different music. So it's not just a copy and paste job they've done with this. They have done some hefty work to change it up, but it is still the same 6 stages. I mean, there'll be slight differences that you notice, but I mean, if you've played the hell out of Dux, you've probably already thought, well, he is actually playing level 1 of Dux here, and I am. That's it. You also might have noticed there are some slight differences to the way things work. I mean, I don't have the little ball thing, the pod on the end of my ship, that I could fire out at this moment in time. You can collect the little pod, but you don't have it permanently, and because of that you can't fire it out. It's also much smaller, so overall they've done a lot of things to actually make the game much harder than it was. The system of being able to charge your shot up and being able to do the bullet absorption thing still works, so when you've got that, you can absorb the bullet, and then you fill up your bar and then you fire it out, and it now actually shows you a radius. And I'll have to put the other ship on, because I at least know that I've been able to get it with the other ship, so it might even be that you can only get it with the other ship. Maybe this is the whole point of veteran, that they've made it much harder, so they've removed certain things like that. Boss fights are still a standard case of just dodging their shots, of which they usually fire a hell of a lot, but this is the first boss, so he's not firing like bullet hell or anything like that. You find their weak spot, you shoot the crap out of them, you go on to the next level, you do it all over again. It's a standard side-scroller with 6 levels. And yeah, it is, well, as I say, it's just a remake of Ducks, so as I kind of went on in the last vid, but I won't bang on about it anywhere near as much. If you've already got it, it mightn't be worth getting it. If you don't have any of the Ducks games, this is probably the one to go for, because it'll probably last you longer, because there's 2 difficulty settings and then the 2 ships, and it is pretty much everything you loved about the first one, but redone with some spit, shine and polish. So for the price of it, this is definitely the way to go. The double pack is cheaper than what they're selling them as, but as I said in the last vid, just in case you didn't watch it, I actually got the double pack for the same price as what this one would cost me on its own. It seems they've constantly raised the price as it's gone through the development process. I don't understand why they've done that. Maybe they were running out of funds and they had to use it, but a lot of the places say that they don't use the funds on the pre-orders, so that I don't even know if it will be that. All I know is I am so glad that I pre-ordered when I did, because I think I would have felt a bit cheated paying €50, so an extra 15, and then obviously the shipping on top of that. Then I think I would have felt a bit cheated paying that much extra for what is essentially 2 virtually identical games. It's just the graphical style, the music that's changed, and then this one's added the difficulty and added the other ship, which, as you can see, the only difference so far is pretty much that the shot is slightly different. And you might have noticed when I did have the I don't even know what to call it, I suppose the pod, because I think that's what they called it on the first one. When you had the pod, it, as I did say, it is much smaller, so it's a lot, well, it's a lot less defensive, so they've even made this version harder as well, which is probably good, and maybe that's why you might want both, because maybe you might consider having both games as easy, medium and hard, you know. So I don't know, but when you've got this, you can still absorb the bullets, and I do believe my pink bar is full, so I'm going to fire it off so you can see the difference now. As I said earlier, you basically get a circle now that shows where it's going to be effective, and the more bullets you collect, the longer this lasts. And it doesn't so much make you invincible, because I mean you can still crash, I believe, although I'm trying to do it there and I'm not dying, so I don't know. Maybe there's just certain things you can crash on, because to be fair, I've noticed I've caught this an awful lot and I've never died. So I mean, I'm doing it there now and you think I would have died by now. Oh no, I finally did. So it's just very tolerant with the sides. It's one of those, it's not something you normally explore, because you don't try to crash on shoot 'em up. So I've noticed sometimes when I've caught and I thought, oh, I was positive I've just hit that wall, but I mustn't because I didn't die. Turns out I did. You just can catch it for a very long time before you die. I do have this again though, so let's try, yes. When you've got that, you can still crash into enemies and instantly die, so I was right, it doesn't make you invincible, it just, well, really helps out, especially if you're in a bullet hell zone or a certain area like that. However, you can only absorb certain bullets with this, which you also might notice that I have managed to get it bigger, and I don't know if that's just simply because I've been doing so badly, because I've been obviously getting myself killed a lot, but it is now much bigger and it's powered it up, but it's still nothing compared to the size that it originally was. But as I say, you can't absorb everything, so I'm going to fire that off when he fires the blue beam, and hopefully that'll show me point if he's actually going to fire the blue beam. And there we go, so I've fired this off, fire, yep, and straight away dead. So it definitely doesn't make you invincible in the slightest, it just helps out in certain areas. There's not much else really I could say about it. I mean, you might have noticed the weapon system, and it's pretty much the same as the last one, that you can get, that you can do different things. So like with the missiles, you can change them to fire up and down and that. But it's one of those, there's nothing much I could honestly say about it. I don't think there's any way I could recommend it to anyone to get both of them unless you could find it cheap enough, as I said in the other one, because it is the sort of thing that I think this is probably the better version, so this is the one to go for if you're only going to get one. But if you do end up getting both, hopefully you'll find enough changes and differences to enjoy them both. And I suppose all I can do now is end with a little bit of the music, like I said I was going to earlier. So there we go then. That's been the review. I hope you found it helpful. I don't score the games because that's based purely on opinion, so instead I'll leave you to make your own mind up. So thanks for watching, and if you've got any questions about the game that I didn't answer in the vid or that hasn't been answered in the comments, then feel free to ask and I'll help if I can. Also, if you did find it helpful, don't forget to check out my channel because there's plenty more like this up there, and don't forget to subscribe because there'll be plenty more to come as well. So until next time, this has been Demon212, signing off.